could go and use some of my talents to make more money than just $20, $30 an hour. So I started cleaning, I started painting, and I started businesses with that and being self-employed. And that kept my tax bracket down, so that raising my kids on my own, I could do it and build for their future and not have to work that 40 hours a week. One of my first things that I got into with real estate, outside of once I passed the cleaning houses and painting, things that would make me $1,500 on a pop. That was huge money for me to work on a weekend where my kids were visiting with their father, and I would just go make $1,500 on a weekend. That was just huge, huge money for me. I could buy a car with that. The bad part about learning how to do that is that you can easily spend that money without planning for your future, knowing that you can do it again. Well, you have to be smart. You're starting to make that extra money. You need to start putting it away. Start using a little bit to get better at your trade. Get better at learning your business. Some education. Something that will help you take that $1,500 and turn it into $3,000. The next thing that I got into was sales. Sales was fantastic. I did some car sales. I was very good at it because I was honest and I listened to people. That is the one thing that when you learn sales, when you are honest, when you listen to people and you're meeting their needs, that's when you're going to make good money. When you provide a product that they need, that's good, that's going to help them in life. When you're selling them a bunch of crap they don't need, that's a very selfish way to make money, and I don't encourage that because sooner or later it's going to bust. Once I got through car sales, I moved into writing mortgages. And this was before they had a lot of licensing laws. So in order to do a job like this, I put my kids to bed at night and I just sat up reading rate sheets, trying to understand yield spreads, anything that had to do with loans and real estate and how the numbers worked. And I just read them over and over and read books. And that was one of the most amazing educations I had. I recommend it as a career. Now there's licensing, which is fantastic because what happened with the crash of the market and the crazy loan stuff that they used to do and the fraud, and it was out there. It was really, really out there. And so being honest, learning your trade, doing something that's commission-based, doing loans is a great way to break into real estate in the long run anyways, because you're going to learn so much. You're going to learn about financing. You're going to learn about appraisals. You're going to learn about home inspections. Getting your real estate license is another way to do it. You're going to be in the mix of learning everything you need to learn. That's true and blue. Not just the podcasts or any of the reality shows that aren't really real. I'm just going to tell you that they're not really real. Maybe a little bit. Maybe the basis of it is. But most of the real estate, you want to show up at your local groups and you want to meet your real estate investors. And your local people that know what your local laws are, what the most common things in the area for the houses are. That's the stuff that's the most important. That's the stuff that's going to get you a career, that's going to take you from one level to a level that you never thought that you could have. When I started out, my goal was to make $100,000 a year. That was my goal. When I started doing loans and checks started coming in, it was amazing. I was in Michigan. I ended up specializing in real estate investing. So I ended up touring, speaking with a lot of the national speakers. I ended up writing a program for a local bank, a rehab program. We ended up getting an N loan from a bank, a very well-known bank. And that was right before the market crashed. But we noticed that when we started putting these products out, there's always people that are trying to sell people something, and they really weren't acting in the best interest of the person coming in to buy the property. And so we tried to put a program together where we assisted people, making sure that they understood their numbers for rehabs. And people still got in, and everybody thinks just because they read one book that they're great at this. And there's so much so much to learn on every situation that there's never enough education. You always, always, always got to keep learning. Plus, the market's changed. What I did in 2010 is very different compared to what I'm doing in 2023. And you need to learn every single one of them. But getting that real estate license or working in loans to start out, it's going to give you a good education that you get paid for. And that's what I needed to do. I need to get paid for my education. I also did go to college. I did get a business degree, which I'm super grateful for. But if I look back and had to do it over, I would have saved the $90,000 in student loans. I really would have, because the education that was out there, and I was already doing businesses, I could have spent more just working with somebody who already had a business. And that's where I learned the most anyways, was working within businesses. So $100,000 a year was what I was looking at making. And once I found out how easy that was, I learned some bad habits. It was easy to make $20,000 and spend it. It got easier to make a $40,000 profit and spend it. And a lot of stuff that happens in your life is not necessarily related to you. So we had, the crash of the market. Oh goodness, we've had COVID. We've had serious war. We've had the government shut down. All of these things that, had I known a little more about money, I would have been way ahead of the game. But I always seemed like I was just getting started. But what's great about what I did and what's great about the industry that I work in was when I did make mistakes or when something did crash. So when the market crashed and I couldn't do loans anymore because the whole industry changed, I turned that into a real estate broker's license and I started working with foreclosures. And then I started working with property management because people couldn't sell their houses. So now they had to lease them. Or they had to sell them on land contract or lease option. Everything that I had so much education in, I was ready for. And that was absolutely fantastic because then I started turning what I thought was the end of my career into a whole new amazing career. And it was a career where I got to help people because the market was crashing, people were scared, people were losing their homes, and we were helping people find homes. And we were helping save homes. And what's amazing about when you find your niche for what you do is watching people just relearn life. Watching people who thought that this was over, that, jobs are gone. I don't know how I'm going to put a roof over my family's head, and watch them pick up and move on and be able to provide homes for them at that time. Because one of the things when we were leasing that we never did was we never looked at a foreclosure as a reason to deny people. So we had a lot of rentals. We formed a group of people that bought a lot of houses, and we helped people be safe, have a roof over their head. The one thing that everybody needs in life is a roof over their head. That's never going to change. Your technology changes. It's just crazy how you do things. Back when everybody was making money off of videos, renting videos, there's a video place on every corner. They're gone. That stuff changes. The one thing that doesn't change is everybody needs a home. Whether it's renting or buying, everybody needs a home. So this is a business that will always, always, always be there. Buying homes, selling homes, renting homes, you're always going to make money as long as you learn very well how to work your numbers and the psychology of money. And that you show up, that you don't think you're better than anybody, you don't know more than everybody else, and you're always willing to learn. That is the most important things in this business because things do change. Like I said, what we did in 2010 is not what we're doing in 2023. You have to change with the market, but your basic knowledge, your real estate laws, understanding sales, understanding business, that all starts when you open a checking account. Do you know how to use a checking account? Because your basic, this is how much money I put in, this is how much money I spend, this is how much money I have, that is the basic of business. And today, nobody even has checking accounts. We make it mandatory for people to pay online, so they need to get a checking account or a way to do that. So that is the first thing that you should learn. If you want to get a side hustle, go down to your local bank, credit union, someplace, and the first thing you want to do is start with a checking account. And you want to learn how to record everything you do. Not swipe your card until it doesn't swipe anymore.